Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie 2.0 tag because I was tagged by Jennifer from the channel Insert Literary Pun Here, and I'd first like to thank her for tagging me and for her lovely kind comments about my channel, and I'll link her channel down in my description if you haven't seen her videos so you can go and subscribe to her. She makes really considered and analytical videos, but they're still accessible and really friendly, and I really like her channel. She always makes really interesting content. Also, I wanted to say welcome to any of you who are new subscribers to my channel. I noticed that I've gained a few subscribers since I was mentioned in Jennifer's video, so thank you for checking out my channel and I hope you enjoy my videos. I want to preface all my answers to these questions with the fact that I'm definitely not an expert myself. I've only really been making videos for a couple of months, so I'm still learning the basics myself, so take everything with a pinch of salt. So the first question is, what genres would you like to see talked more about on Booktube? And I'd say that I think everyone wants to see more videos about the genres that they're interested in, and for me that's typically historical fiction, literary fiction, classics and translated literature. When I first started watching Booktube videos, I noticed that most of the larger channels talk almost exclusively about young adult novels, and they're girls, you know, my age in their 20s, and I was a bit confused at first because those types of books I stopped reading when I was maybe 15, so I was not sure why they'd be still reading those kind of books when they're older, but I think really it was probably snobbery on my part, and I think it's made me a bit more open-minded watching Booktube videos, in that I've kind of realised that you don't have to be a certain age to read a specific genre or read books that are targeted at a certain age demographic. I would also like to see more videos about non-fiction books because they're such a huge part of the literary scene and I don't really see many people talking about them, and I want to read more non-fiction myself, so I'm always looking out for good recommendations. So the second question is, what do you feel is the best way to make friends on Booktube? So I think it's probably an obvious answer, but I think the best way is just to engage with other people making videos by commenting on their videos if you enjoyed them, and especially if you've got a differing opinion, I think it's really interesting to open up a conversation with them. I think the point of Booktube videos is really to start a discussion about books and reading, so I try to leave comments that engage with their opinion and then also sort of give my own ideas across as well. I think the only thing I would really avoid is just overtly plugging your channel. I just think it comes across like you've got the wrong intentions if you sort of directly try and make people click on your channel when making a comment. And of course it's a bonus if they do decide to look at your channel, but that shouldn't be your primary purpose. Question 3 is, what do you enjoy most about making Booktube videos? For me, reading is a very solitary activity, and I choose a book and read a book alone, and often I don't ever really discuss that book with someone except in the context of a university classroom where discussion is interesting but it's very formal, it's not natural, and you're not encouraged to give your personal opinion. So making these videos is great because I get to discuss books that I've read with someone else who's also read it and compare our thoughts and give each other recommendations. I do love how intimate reading is, and I don't have any problem with just reading a book myself and thinking about it alone, but it is really nice sometimes to have that conversation with others, and making these videos has helped me to realise that. Question 4 is, what do you least look forward to when making Booktube videos? And I think, as with most people, it's the practical aspect of it, it's the whole setting up the camera and actually filming and then editing. It's just a bit tedious, but I think that's a bit of a cop-out answer. I've only been making videos a couple of months, but the one sort of negative thing that I've noticed about doing it is that every time I read a book I'm trying to think, well, is this something I can make a video about, or can I make an intelligent point about this? I've been dedicating a lot more time to reading over the last few months, which I'm really happy about, but I really want to try and avoid making it a chore and try not to be too harsh on myself and just actually enjoy reading the books. Number 5 is, what videos other than tags, TBRs, wrap-ups, reviews and recommendations would you want to see more of? And I really like when people do more open-ended discussion videos about a topic in literature that they like, or just about reading in general. Whether it's talking about a specific theme that you really like in books, or about books from a certain country, I really like that style of video, and it's something that I want to incorporate more into my channel because it is something that I really admire in other people's channels. Number 6 is, what are some of the themes you want to see more or less of in books? And I think one of the best things about reading, for me anyway, is that I get to, for a short period of time, live vicariously through a character who is totally different to me, and some of my favourite books have protagonists that differ entirely from me, and I get to see their experiences and their struggles that are totally out with my realm of experience. So in saying that, I'd love for books to have more diversity in their characters, in all ways really, but I think particularly important would be racial diversity and diversity in gender and sexuality. Also, I think it would be really great to see more books that are narrated by an older protagonist. I was reading a book last year called Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healy, which I really enjoyed, and it's narrated by an old woman. And reading it, it just made me realise that I can't think of many books at all that I've read that have an older main character. And they still have a voice, and their voice ought to be heard. And I know these characters probably do exist in novels, but not in such mainstream and popular novels, so I think it'd be really great to see more of them. Question 7 is, what are some of your Booktube goals? So I think my only real goal is to maintain consistency in uploading, and that's kind of a challenge for me because my busyness fluctuates so much, and sometimes I'm super hectic and really struggle to find the time, and other times, you know, I've got quite a lot of spare time. I'm hoping to find my feet a little bit with my YouTube channel over the next few months and hopefully come up with a routine and ideally a sort of upload schedule, but for now anyway, I can't really commit to like one video a week, for example. In terms of channel growth, that's not something that's massively important to me. Of course it is really nice to see people liking and subscribing to your channel, but what I want to do most is just make content that is interesting for the people who are already subscribed to me. That's why I always love to hear your suggestions for books I could read or videos to make, because although ultimately I want to make videos that I would like to watch, it is also important to me to make content that you will also like. Question 8 is, what advice would you give to a booktuber that has just created their channel? So I would say similar as to I said for the last question. Try and think about the type of content that you love to watch, and try and make a video that is something that you'd love to see in your subscription box. I'd say try not to think too much about the types of videos you think will be popular, but choose something that you're passionate about, because that will come across and you'll just enjoy yourself a whole lot more. Also, I'd say don't stress too much about making loads of videos right away. I know it's quite exciting when you first start your channel, you've got lots of ideas, but pace yourself, otherwise I think you could get burned out. Number 9 is, what are some qualities or traits that you look for when it comes to watching other booktubers? So I'd say generally I gravitate towards booktubers who have a similar interest in books to me, and I really like watching videos where they've read a book and they make a more sort of reflective video on it rather than just an immediate reaction to it. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but I really like watching videos that make me think something about a book that I've read that I never thought of before, or say something really interesting about a book that I've not read that spurs me on to actually read it. I also tend to prefer channels where the person talks more about books they've read rather than to be read or haul lists. And again, that's just a personal preference, but I just like when they've got something to say about the book that's from their own experiences of it. I'm always looking for new channels to subscribe to, so if you've got any recommendations then please leave them in the comments, and also feel free to ignore my earlier advice and plug your own channel if you want to. I'll definitely check it out. Question 10 is, what is a fun fact about you or a hobby besides reading and writing that people on Booktube might not know you have? And I don't know if I've got any unusual hobbies as such, but I do have 2 slightly weird jobs. I'm a university student and that's expensive, so I've had 2 part-time jobs throughout the time of being a student. So I'm an aquarium cleaner and a miniature train driver, and although they're both pretty fun jobs, it's quite difficult to write a CV for real-world jobs when those are your 2 job titles. And the last question is, which booktubers do you tag? And I'm pretty new to this game and I don't know that many people yet, so I don't have any specific people that I want to tag. But if you've just started a channel and you're quite new as well, then please feel free to make a video and let me know if you do. I'd be really interested to watch it. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!